You're in the mountains, you've been skiing today, but there was some major news that happened on your end that we felt like we had to talk about right away. So let's talk about this JV with Edgardo's company and what this is. What is the motivation behind this project?
The motivation, but first of all, Edgardo is a dear friend. And we've been talking several times about doing something together. You know, my background is in real estate, and after 20 years ago, 22 years ago, I decided to do Casa Tua. So when Edgardo basically asked me to do something with him, I was excited because in the same way that with Casa Tua, I try to bring something new to the hospitality industry with the simplicity of a home.
Yeah, because in general, Miami is not known for being understated, right? Like we were talking when I saw you last, the aesthetic at Casa Tua is more like the Agnellis. It's a little bit the old Gianni Agnelli, a little bit more classy, old world style. Miami generally is very much in your face.
Absolutely. And Casa Tua, when I created Casa Tua, the thing that I want the most was to create a place with a soul. And Casa Tua, in my opinion, is the ideal house that everybody would like to have to entertain their guests and their friends. So going back to Edgardo, when he asked me about this project, for me was a challenge to basically apply the same philosophy to a big residential building, create an identity, create a soul for a building, and create, most importantly, a vertical community. So that was the idea behind Ora. And from the name Ora, that means now in Italian, really create a building that exemplify what people and the young generation or our generation would like to see now in a building. Instead to just a residential building, a building that has also the services, more of an hotel component. You know, with services, with amenities, but amenities with the soul, with the.
But yeah, look, a lot of buildings have amenities and stuff. What are you hoping to bring that's a little bit beyond just, you know, white glove service? Because a lot of high-end buildings in Miami would offer that.
But the same thing that there's a lot of people and a lot of buildings that offer this, you're right. But not in the way that we do it. In the same way that you say that in Miami there is a lot of beautiful places, high-end places. But Casa Tua is a bit different. It's a place with a soul. It's a place where you feel at home, and we hope to bring the same feeling to a big building.
Will there be a private restaurant? How does the way I understand it,
everything is going to be open to the public because. We want to be the amenities, the city amenities. And so number one, the building is going to be open 24 hours a day. There's going to be a bakery market that is inside basically the lobby, where at every time of the day you can come, have a croissant and shop, eat, just work. And we're going to have next to it a place that is going to be called Uva, so that concentrate, of course, in wine. Uva in Italian means grapes, and a little bit like Wallis to give you an idea, like Wallis in Los Angeles, Santa Monica, and Las Vegas, that the Marciano brother did. And on top of the podium where we have the pool, we're going to create a restaurant called Fuoco. It's going to be the first restaurant that is not just done by me, but is going to be done by me searching for the best recipe of other chefs around the world. That as a base, everything is cooked with wood-burning fire. And we're going to have on the 77th floor a place called Vento, that means wind, that is going to be. Also, they are trying to go back a little bit in time and bring the soul of a place that seems like you were in Cuba 20 years.
Yeah, something's a little bit of retro vibe.
So live music, mixologies, drinks, tapas on top of a building of 80 stories.
So a pretty substantial project. We're talking 460 units. I think one of the things that jumped out is you guys had mentioned that this is going to be short-term rental friendly. So
Yeah.
you're open to residents kind of, this is something that Miami
Yeah,
has struggled with quite a bit is what do we do with people who just want to be there for a little bit or want to use this as a pied a terre? So you guys have thought about opening it up for short-term rentals.
Yes, number one, the units are going to be sold furnished,
Yeah.
and the feeling is barefoot luxury. So it's not the over the top. The over the top situation that you mostly find in Miami with marble. So also the material are going to be earthy,
Yeah.
natural. And we're going to manage most likely all the unit for the owners. So that's guarantee the owner that we're going to take care of them. We want to be sure that the unit always are in top
And
notch.
do you collect then a management fee on top for those kind of things as well?
I think that's normal and customary. Yes, I think
Right.
it's what's going to happen. Yes.
And then what's your personal involvement? I'm curious about. So I know Edgardo has been doing some pretty ambitious projects for a while. You said you have a background in real estate, but you're primarily known as a hospitality guy, right? That's what you bring to the table. How involved are you going to be in the actual development, the ground up construction of this project?
I think that is a team effort, but of course, Edgardo is going to lead the sector because, I think that the secret in life is each one has to do what they do best.
Mm-hmm.
Edgardo is one of the best of selling for sure building, and he has, a very background on success after success in a different type of building. We do the same thing in hospitality. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think that the matrimony between us is the ideal situation.
I think we would not be talking if this was a one-off project. I think the reason that we find it interesting and the reason I wanted to speak with you is this is probably, as I understand it, going to be a test concept. If this works, if this clicks, then you probably want to bring this kind of vision of a branded hospitality / development to some of the other cities you're in. Accurate? Fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, less is more. So one at a time and be sure that it's successful. But also, this is going to be one of the first building where nature is going to be in the forefront. We take example from Bosco Verticale in Milano.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you cannot do the same thing in a such a tall building, but we try at least to do as much as possible in terms of be sure that we include nature, we include green space in a building like this, because more people do this, more our city are going to be beautiful, and more our air is going to be clean in a certain way. But it's really the idea to bring nature into the city, and I think Bosco Verticale in Milano did it so well. Yep. In a city like Milano, where the climate is not for sure like the one of Miami.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that I would love to see even where I am in LA is we have this gift of great weather, and Miami has it for part of the year as well. And there's very few projects that really pay attention to that. There's very few projects that really embrace beyond like an indoor outdoor mall, which is as creative as people get. But I wish there was more, thoughtfulness about bringing in the outdoors into a project. That would be great to see.
That's exactly what we want to do, and not just that, but also as much as possible be using sustainable recycled material, especially in the inside of the unit. There is architect now that do miracle with recycled material that are so beautiful. Sometimes they cost more than the normal material, but at least you send the message that we think about sustainability and we look at the future for the future generation, my kids.
Right.
That's what they put on their top priority, and we never have to forget that.
I think you're an interesting person to ask this question because you've seen the evolution of Miami, 2 decades of Casa Tua. I'm assuming some stuff before that. Miami, and we've talked about this a lot, Wall Street South, et cetera, et cetera. This tower is going up in Brickell, which Ken Griffin has made a very, very significant bet on. So the kind of people that you can attract, the price points have changed. Even 3 years ago, this tower probably was not feasible from a financial standpoint.
But no, I don't think so, because the unit being small, the overall price is not so expensive.
Mhm.
And that's what is interesting about this project. And the price will include the furniture package. At the end is, I think it's going to be an interesting price point. Ken is a great friend and is one of my founding member of the founding member of our club.
Uh-huh.
And I showed the project, and he was very excited, because also on his point of view, of people that come back and forth for his organization eventually can be useful.
Right. I think that's the part of it, is that there is this momentum that you're kind of jumping on as well. This momentum that Miami has, that investors from all over the world are now taking a closer look at the city as, like, maybe it's not just the playground anymore. Maybe it's something more. Let's talk about, where this deal happened, very, very significant deal, but this is not the only big deal that happened in your life recently.
No, exactly. I'm very happy. Letizia and I, that we co-found Casa Tua together. Letizia is my wife and my partner in crime. We decide to, we sacrifice a lot. We work a lot to create this company. And when Martin approached us, it was
Martin Franklin, the British American businessman. Right.
A dear friend and a very successful business person. When he approached us, we thought it was a very good idea and a great combination. Not because, except most importantly for the expertise and the business sense that Martin has, and in everything he did in his life. So we're very happy. We sold the minority share of Casa Tua. We're still controlling the company.
Mm-hmm. And so day-to-day operational decisions, all is you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, of course. It's my partner. So now I share everything I do with him, and I ask for his, not for his approval, but the sign of approval, of course.
Right.
But and it's fun, it's a journey that you do together. And I think I'm gonna learn a lot of things from him, and he's gonna learn a few things from us.
What does this infusion of capital mean for the Casa Tua brand? Like, what can you do now after making the sale, which happened just a couple months ago, right? You finalized everything a couple months ago.
Yeah, exactly. But it means that maybe we look at project with a different eye and a more opportunistic sometime. And we had the flexibility of doing maybe more things. We beef up our team. We growing. Also, if I want to keep it, for me, also there less is more. I prefer to have less people, more qualified. The more people, there is a lot of organization that they built a team of too big, then after is not functional any longer. So I prefer to stay small and to feel that we are a family and we work together, and each one of us is complement each other.
I'm curious, because I ask developers this all the time, but we don't really get a chance to talk to guys like you. Who are a couple of your design inspirations? The kind of people, they could be in this generation or a previous generation, but who do you look to, like, I wish I could, I want to bring this kind of thing?
But there is so many of them, and I'm very, Renzo Mongiardino, for example, you talk about Agnelli before. Mm-hmm. Renzo Mongiardino was an interior designer that did most of the house of the Agnelli. Fantastic person, and he passed away a few years ago. But Michele Bonan, that is our architect. We're working for Ora with a great couple. It's called M2 Atelier, Marco and Mariana. They're young, and I decide to work with them because they're very much, they work in buildings, in apartments, but they also work a lot in boats. So the fact that this is a small unit, I thought that finding somebody that has the expertise on both, you work the space in a much more efficient way.
I like that. I haven't heard that logic before, but it's
because is very important, because when you have a studio, our smaller apartment is a studio that is 420 square feet. You want to be sure that he has everything, but at the same time, you feel comfortable and is functional.
Yeah.
So M2 Atelier they're a fantastic couple. They design unbelievable boats and unbelievable homes, and I'm so happy to have them part of our team.
If we're talking in 5 years, Miky, you've done this is your first kind of branded condo tower concept. You've recapitalized the company with this Martin Franklin deal. If we're talking in 5 years and everything goes well, what does the Casa Tua brand look like? What are some of the projects? In your dream scenario, you probably written it out in your notebook somewhere.
I hope better than ever. And but like I said, a lot of people, when they're successful, they tend to do too much and they leave behind the quality. For us, quality and the product that we deliver to our customer is always our priority. So the brand aura is very simple. We want to create oases inside the city. And I'm sure that each city would welcome a project like this. Not just an oasis, but a vertical or horizontal community, because it doesn't necessarily have to be in a very tall building. We're looking at a site in Miami that is going to be horizontal. So you're going to have a smaller building, but everything is going to work together in the same way.